Hey everybody, I'm Laurie Guest, and if you're like me, when we fly coach, we hope for an empty middle seat. To me, that's almost as good as a first class upgrade. Room to spread out, put my carry-on under the seat next to me, giving me some leg room, and most importantly, my beverage can go on the extra tray. So imagine my thrill when I see on the app that there's likely an empty middle seat on a long flight from Chicago to Phoenix. Yeehaw! Happy dance! But when I sit down, this guy is looking up at me. His name is Packer, named after the Green Bay Packers, and he's a service dog on duty. He even has that red vest that tells me I can't pet him. But look at him! Who could say no to that face? It's funny, a baby can be almost as cute, but would get a very different reaction from me when I sit down next to him. However, I'm a rule follower, so I try to ignore him. About 30 minutes into the flight, his person is asleep, leaning against the window. I'm trying to work on my book. But Packer, he looks at me, he looks at her, and I decide that I could start a stare down with him, and that wouldn't break any of the touch rules. He who looks away first loses. Yeah, I find odd ways to entertain myself on the road, like making bets with myself. For example, on this same flight, there's a guy across the aisle who drops his full unopened bottle of Diet Coke. Yeah, it rolled around a bit while he tried to retrieve it with his foot, and I'm thinking to myself, surely he isn't going to open that now. The combination of the cabin pressure plus the 2-foot fall from the tray lends itself to a bubble overflow. So I said to myself, Self, I bet you a quarter he opens it and is shocked when it erupts all over him and his seatmates. Yep, 1 minute later, I won that bet with myself. Anyway, I digress. Back to Packer. So I'm thinking I'm winning the stare down contest when all of a sudden he picks up his left paw and places it on my thigh with the cutest look ever. I don't care what his vest says. I'm petting him. And when I did that, he jumped up into the middle seat and placed his head in my lap with the most contented look ever. Of course, that woke his person, and she turned to apologize and try to get him down. And I said, oh, I don't mind, but does it bother you, or is this breaking his on-duty rules? To which she said, nope, I don't mind if you don't mind. Why am I sharing this story? Because at the same time, all three of us took this huge inhale, exhale, and closed our eyes. Technically, Packer and I were working, but the sudden collective moment of an intentional pause was extremely fulfilling. I put my stuff away, turned on soft music in my headset, and just petted his head and breathed in and out for quite some time. When we landed in Phoenix, I said goodbye, knowing I will never see this pair again. However, I decided to print and post this picture on the corner of my computer screen and leave it there for a bit, forcing myself to take a 2-minute intentional pause daily. What pause are you taking today?